Es kommen gut in die Feierabend rein, hier auf Radio Zeta. Der Bundesrat will mit der Verordnung Wasserkraftreserven aufbauen. Die Reserven sollen dann ends weiter angepasst werden. So will der Bundesrat auf Energiekrise reagieren. Aus dem Bundeshaus berichtet Dominik Weinberg.
Seit mehreren Monaten liefert Russland nur noch wenig Gas auf Europa. Aktuell gar keins mehr. Der Bundesrat mache sich schon lange Gedanken über die Energieversorgung, sagt die Bundesrätin Simonetta Sommaruga.
Das Ziel des Bundesrates ist klar. Wir schaffen für den nächsten Winter zusätzliche Reserven, Polster und Sicherheiten. Beim Gas hat der Bundesrat ja die Branche beauftragt, zusätzliche Beschaffungen zu machen und Reserven zu bilden. Das hat die Branche inzwischen bereits gemacht.
Eine weitere Massnahme sind jetzt die Wasserkraftreserven. Wasser soll also zurückgehalten werden. Simonetta Sommaruga erklärt das Prinzip. Stromfirmen werden vom Bund entschädigt, wenn sie eine gewisse Menge Wasser zurückhalten.
Wird die Energie dann gebraucht, dann kann der Bund sie abrufen. Welche Stromfirmen diese Reserve einrichten, das ist noch offen. Es gibt jetzt eine Ausschreibung und die besten Angebote erhalten den Zuschlag. Für den Fall, dass zu wenig Angebote eingehen oder dass die Angebote für den Bund zu teuer sind, dann kann das UVEK, mein Departement, einzelne Kraftwerkbetreiber verpflichten, die Reserve einzurichten.
Die Reserve soll rund 500 Gigawattstunden sein. Vorgegeben hat das die Eidgenössische Elektrizitätskommission ELCOM. Der Präsident René Lugin bei uns sagt,
die Reserve kann eine unerwartete Knappheit am Ende des Winters überbrücken. Was kann die Reserve nicht? Die Reserve bringt keine zusätzliche Energie ins System. Sie entzieht ja in einer ersten Phase dem Markt sogar Energie. Zusätzliche Energie, die muss auf anderen Wegen kommen.
Nämlich über Reservekraftwerke, wie Simonetta Sommaruga erklärt.
Damit verfügt der Bund jetzt über 8 mobile Gasturbinen, die in Bier im Kanton Aargau aufgestellt werden. Die Turbinen können mit Öl, Gas oder auch Wasserstoff betrieben werden und sie bringen bei Bedarf zusätzlichen Strom ins System.
Nebst diesen Reservekraftwerken soll also jetzt Wasserkraftreserven für Sicherheit sorgen. Der Bund geht davon aus, dass die Reserve in der 650 bis 750 Millionen Franken dürften kosten.
ma.
And there are almost no words to describe that feeling of alignment.
Kurde mnie.
It's a feeling that I hope most people experience every now and then.
Miałem dzisiaj nie jeść, ale
Not just an individual thing.
nie da się.
Companies also have their own guiding purposes. But how can employees and
Zjadłem w robocie jagody,
truly understand and embody its purpose?
krewetki, no i teraz jem orzeszki. Ale to już po orzeszkach już nic nie będę jadł.
This is TED Business. Our speaker today is Ashley M. Grice, the CEO and Managing Director of Right House Consulting, a global creative consulting company. In this talk, she shares the distinct role purpose
Dzisiaj miała być głodówka, ale
She also
nie da
highlights
rady.
the good that can come
Chociaż i
when
tak dużo nie
purpose
zjadłem.
is so well embedded that it becomes second nature.
Jagody to prawie nie mają kalorii chyba.
Then after the talk, I'll offer some
To
advice
najpierw
on
zjadłem
how to find
jagody.
purpose at work for those who aren't
Później
feeling
zjadłem
so
chyba
passionate.
200 gram krewetek, czy tam 250 gram. No to też to chyba jakoś kaloryczne nie jest, nie wiem.
What does this mean?
Nie patrzyłem nawet.
I'm Cheryl Dorsey, host of the TED Tech.
No i teraz zjem trochę orzeszków, no.
Latest innovation.
Ale z wasabi, ostry.
Tech is evolving fast and it affects our lives. From the metaverse to the watches on our wrists. We learn why people in AI make good business partners. About our future self-driving robotaxis.
Mam 200 gram orzeszków z wasabi.
Siri, Alexa, Google looks like.
W panierce wasabi.
Find TED
Ostre jak
Tech
diabli.
podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen.
TED Business is supported by the So What podcast from Boston Consulting Group. If you're tired of boring business experts who can't get to the point, this is the podcast for you. Think of it like chatting with a keynote speaker after their speech. You get a ton of knowledge, but in a more relaxed format. British journalist Georgie Frost uncovers the big new ideas that make up our world, from climate to kitchens, technology to travel, and business to the human brain. Follow the So What from BCG wherever you find your podcast.
In 2019, I took a 9 a.m. flight from Atlanta to New York City. I was the first person to board that day, so as I death-gripped my phone to step over that little crack that leads to the runway, I caught a glimpse of the flight attendant.
Nie
Head
chcę,
in
bo
her hand, like this, eyes closed. The moment she heard me, she looked up. She put a smile on her face and she
kurde.
said, "Good morning."
ale to wasabi ostre, aż mnie paliło w nosie.
No, she said. It had been a
Nie chcę jeść, dzięki za propozycję. Zjem trochę orzeszków i trzeba pościć. Trzeba pościć, bo nic z formy nie będzie.
I said that I was going to deliver a speech and that honestly I was cutting it kind of close. No time for lunch? She asked. No time for lunch, I said, and I took a bag of almonds and I tucked it into the pocket of my backpack. After the flight landed, I was on my way out of the plane and she stopped me for a moment and she handed me a plastic bag. It was about this big and it was weirdly heavy. She said, "I know you didn't have a lot of time today, so I packed you this. Good luck." That was nice. So as I'm walking through LaGuardia with my bag and my bag, I peer inside, and there are about 30 packets of almonds. Inside that bag, it was a bag of bags. And when I was in the taxi on the way to the speech, I found this little note tucked inside. Ms. Grice, thank you for coming on and putting a smile on our faces with your sweet words. You have been so kind, and we are very lucky to have you as a loyal Delta customer. Thank you. I know you are gluten-free, so here are some almonds for the road. Thank you for your kindness. It goes a long way. Sarah, Delta flight attendant. Now reading this, my heart gave a little jolt. My day job is to help companies excavate and execute their purpose. And this little note on this little napkin was purpose in action. Specifically, that airline's purpose. And I know, because I had helped to articulate it over 15 years before. In 2003, purpose was just one element of a much larger strategic transformation that Delta Airlines undertook. It was a company still reeling from the after effects of 9/11, and one looking for them through would would eventually become Chapter 11 business.
Z Niemiec przede mną.
But in 2019,
80 kilosów można jechać, to kurde 60 będzie jechać.
in elementary school, the time that purpose was articulated, it was some almonds for a hungry customer. It may be
Zawsze tak
that
tu
Sarah
jest.
never saw that purpose line we articulated, but no matter. She didn't need to. Because purpose was alive and well at Delta. It had become muscle memory. It had become cultural norm. Now let me be clear in what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about embedding purpose. I'm not talking about your mission, which is what you do every
Na tym
day,
odcinku można
or
jechać
your vision, which is where you are headed. Both mission and vision are
80 na godzinę, ale każdy się boi i jeżdżą
And mission
60.
and vision will change with changes in leadership, corporate context, competitive landscape, merger and acquisition. They are important, but they are also temporal. In my experience, they often have a time horizon of, say, 3 to 5 years. But purpose is your why. It is found at the intersection of who you are at your very best, the role in the world that you are meant to play. It comes from your ethos. It is married to your aspirations. And because it is ethotic, it is also timeless. Now, there are plenty of data out there to say that well-embedded purpose across organizations brings immense value. Studies that will link well-embedded purpose to elevated total shareholder return over 10 years, increased employee engagement, retention, even higher levels of productivity. Because of all this data, it is rare in my work that a CEO will come to me and say, Ashley, what is purpose, or why do I need to do it? Instead, what they will ask is, when I have my purpose, how do I
A co
embed
ja
it
nie
across
godzien
my organization so well that it
jeść
brings the
rzeczy
most
od
value,
wielorybów?
that it becomes muscle memory? As I've been doing this work for almost 20 years at this point, I have a ready answer. First, I tell them it needs to be authentic. Purpose that is rooted in your ethos, distinctive to your brand, meaningful to all of your stakeholders, and consistent with your values, is authentic. Kelly Bear Rosemary, the CEO of Optus, a Sydney, Australia-based telecommunications company, can speak to her company's purpose, powering optimism with options, with conviction, because it is authentic. Optus is by its very nature a challenger brand, and it is the brand synonymous with a brand platform of positivity, since options breed action and optimism breeds hope. How they pull their internal relations together with their external reach out to customers is very consistent and incredibly authentic. Now, at the other end of the authenticity scale, I once worked with a CEO who really wanted purpose to be about environmental sustainability. That is great, I said.
O kurde, ale
Your
przebój.
company struggles to use recycling the offices. I know. I've been. While I admire the aspiration, we had come up with a purpose line that was solely about environmental sustainability. It would have been dead on arrival, specifically the big ones. Secondly, I tell CEOs that they must be critical and excavate purpose from the inside out. Purpose is uncomfortable. It should be. Because you are introducing a tension between idealism and realism, who you really want to be, and who you are capable of being. it does become less